I hear many times when I tell people you should start incorporating bone broth in your diet. It's like, I don't have the time. I feel disgusted whenever I have to make the bone broth because I don't want to see chicken feet or bones. Like, I don't want to handle that or buy it. So now it became very popular, and there are very good sources out there of what is called bone broth powder. And you can go in my bio and check the link for my store where you can find different type of bone broth powders out there, because what is important is the source of what we buy. No matter what we decide to buy, food or supplements, what is important is the source of what we buy. So when you buy a bone broth, because it's coming from animal, you want to buy a bone broth powder, or you get the bones to make your broth from a grass-fed, 100% grass-fed, means they have been fed from the beginning to the end with grass pasturing around. If you don't see the 100%, that means they were grass-fed for a few months, and then they finish with grains, which could be genetically modified corn, for example, or soy. So you want to see 100% grass-fed. So that is the ideal pasture raised when you buy your bones or you buy your bone broth. So the bone broth powder is really convenient because you just take a scoop and then you add it in water, you warm it up, you drink it like a broth, you use it to make soups, or you can add it in your smoothie, which is what I'm gonna do. I just finished my workout and I want to prepare a protein shake, and bone broth powder, depending on the one that you buy, has between 15 to 20 grams of protein within one scoop. So it's a really good way to incorporate protein into your diet and then avoid other type of proteins, like for example whey protein, which whey coming from dairy causes a lot of allergic reactions, a lot of sensitivities and inflammatory reactions in your gut. So I don't recommend you to go into whey protein. If you want to buy whey protein as a source of protein powder, be sure you buy grass-fed or pasture-raised whey protein isolate. So isolate, not concentrate. So you at least has the you don't have any contaminants from any other source of dairy. So here we have a comment. I buy Dr. R's bone broth. How is this one you are talking about here? Yeah, Dr. R's is also good. It's a really good source as well. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's also a good source. What I haven't found in that container is if it's from chickens that are pasture raised. You have to look for if it's a chicken bone broth, if it's pasture raised or free range. If it's from a beef, you want to take 100% grass fed. So this one is unsweetened, 100% grass fed. The only ingredient that you have is bone broth. There is no other ingredients. Be careful when you buy bone broths that have flavor, like vanilla flavor, chocolate flavor, berries flavor, because usually they come with other added sweeteners like maltodextrin or dextrins or other sweeteners that you don't want to have, or even natural flavors. Natural flavors, there are more than 100 different type of compounds that the FDA has approved as natural. Not necessarily they are natural or man-made. And just to give you an example, one of those natural flavors is MSG, which is a flavor enhancer and causes a lot of toxicity in your body and inflammation. So be sure that when you buy some bone broth, I buy completely 100% unsweetened. If you want to buy any other type of protein powders, I just stick to the protein itself. Like if you would get a non-GMO organic pea protein isolate, grass-fed whey protein isolate, 100% grass-fed bone broth. So it's the only ingredient you want to see on the ingredients label, nothing else in there. So you avoid any natural flavors. So here we have a question. I'm going for colonoscopy and endoscopy soon. I have chronic gout, joint pain, acid reflux, and Lyme. Yes, so colonoscopies and endoscopies are a good way to identify if you have any other underlying condition. In there, you have H. pylori, polyps, diverticulitis, but not necessarily they are going to find if you have another type of dysbiosis or parasite infections or low stomach acid. So yeah, you can definitely get other tests like Zoomer or GI 360 or GI map to identify what you have in your gut. So talking about the gut, that is one of the benefits of the bone broth powder and why we want to take and incorporate bone broth powder. Now, if you are a person that suffers from histamine intolerance, bone broth contains proteins that can flare up your histamine, unfortunately. So you cannot incorporate bone broth into your diet if you suffer from histamine intolerance, and that's why a lot of people that have gut issues, when they start drinking broth, they don't feel good. The alternative for that, there are other now proteins that you can also find in my store. If you go to my bio, I have compiled in there a lot of bone broth powders, but also beef protein, hydrolyzed beef protein is not bone broth itself, and is the isolated form of pure protein from the beef, not contaminated with any other fat or carbohydrates, and is hydrolyzed, which means the compounds, the peptides, they are in a smaller size, so you are going to be able to absorb them better through the gut lining. So that is also a really good way to have your protein powder. Hydrolyzed beef protein powder is 25 to 27 grams of protein in one scoop, so a really good source. So talking about bone broth, so what are the components that we have in bone broth that are so good for you? So what we find in bone broth is amino acids. There are 18 different, and here in the label you can see all the different amino acids. So let's say that you have a necklace. So what are amino acids? A necklace is a protein, and you have different beads in your necklace. Those are the amino acids. When you put amino acids together, then it's forming the protein. So what you have here in bone broth is 18 different amino acids that are involved in almost all the biological functionalities in your body, for mobility, your joints, for your gut, for hormones, for a lot of things that happen in our body. You also have in there chondroitin, glucosamine, and hyaluronic acid, which are also very good for supporting joints mobility and prevent the shock whenever you are walking in there. And you have collagen type 2. Collagen is also found in joints, in your skin as well, and in your gut lining. So it's supporting also those organs, and is involved in producing connective tissue. And the connective tissue is what is the glue, is what is holding together our body. So amino acids, collagen type 2, and those components, hyaluronic acid, chondroitin, and glucosamine. And of course, very good to support the skin. You have beautiful skin. Thank you. I take a lot of bone broth, and I also have very good genes. You should see my mother and my great grandmother. She didn't have any wrinkle when she passed away when she was 95 years old. So what are the benefits of taking a bone broth powder? It has been taken, like people has been taking bone broth for years. It's not just a trend that is happening now. Years, like for example in Chinese medicine and traditional Chinese medicine, they were taking gelatin to support the joints, the gut, and immunity. There is also what is called the GAPS protocol, Gut and Psychology Syndrome, designed by Dr. McBride, and that is also supporting the connection between your gut and your brain, and how important it is to drink bone broth and put it into your diet to put it to support also your gut, and then support what is happening, a lot of the symptoms that happen in your brain as well. But in general, the benefits, as I was mentioning before, is very good for supporting joints and mobility. It's also very good for supporting your gut lining, the mucosa of the gut lining, for keeping a good integrity and preventing leaky gut syndrome. So we prevent microbes, overgrowth, and inflammation going systemically into our body. It's also very good for boosting immunity, for having a strong immune system. In particular, amino acids like proline and glycine are really good for immune boosting and for your gut lining. And so yeah, those are some of the best benefits of taking bone broth, and also for building protein, for building a muscle. Protein is the building block of the tissues in your body, so it's also helping you with that as well. And also for your skin, for your nails, for your hair, collagen is good for you. So how much bone broth powder or bone broth you can have a day, and how you can incorporate it. So it depends on your nutritional goals and also your health goals. And as always, how much, or if you can take it, always ask your healthcare practitioner. As I mentioned, if you have histamine intolerance, you may not be able to take it, but also every time you try to take any change in your diet, it's good to talk with your healthcare practitioner. So here we say best motility agent. So for best motility agent, it really depends on the source of your constipation. But I have a whole video and I have a whole bundle in my bio about how to poop better. But magnesium citrate bone broth, if the source is that you have inflammation in your gut. You can do psyllium husk, chia meal or flax meal. Aloe vera is also really good for that. Then herbs like ginger are also very good, L-carnitine. So you can find a lot of those type of foods for motility. You go to my bio, you are gonna find a bundle how to poop better. Yes, so you can find, so how can I buy this bone broth? So you can find the link. If you go to my bio, you click in my bio IBS expert, you go to the main page, and there is an arrow that takes you to some link. So over there is a store, and you can put bone broth powder. So you are gonna see the different options. This one is from the Paleo Valley, and it's 100% grass fed. So how to reverse low stomach acid? This is a whole other video training. This is a very good question. I will keep it in mind for my next training to go live, how to reverse low stomach acid. Such a good question. But just as an appetizer for that, there are many reasons for stomach acid, but a big one is if you have SIBO, small intestine bacteria overgrowth, or other type of overgrowth. So we were talking about how much bone broth you can incorporate. So you can start from 1 cup to 2 cups a day, or 1 to 2 scoops a day, and then you can increase progressively. And there's a lot of people that buy. I get distracted with the question, sorry. Can SIBO cause constipation? Definitely, methane SIBO causes constipation. So testing for that is important. So there is people that follow a bone broth diet, a bone broth fasting. It's not necessarily a complete fasting because protein can break the fast, but bone broth fasting can give a rest to your digestive system. You have a lot of electrolytes there and help you in bringing back inflammation also down. So bone broth fasting is for a day, 24 hours is also very good. So how you can incorporate it? So basically you make your broth with the bones, just drinking a cup every day or two and add it to your soups is great. If you use the powder, which is more convenient, that you can add it in smoothies, like the one that I'm gonna make now. You can add it to your soups or your creams, your purees, to any food you can cook. If you are going grain-free, it's okay, but if you are incorporating grains, like for example quinoa, which is high protein, low carb, gluten-free, you can cook your quinoa with the broth, or you can just stir it and warm it up and drink it in a cup. So what I'm gonna prepare here is my smoothie, very simple, because this is already a complete protein. I'm not gonna add any other protein. You can make it with water or nut milk or coconut milk, which have a very good fatty acids. So I'm gonna add just 1 cup of protein in here. Let's start making our smoothie. Always the water first, otherwise the powder is gonna get stuck in the bottom. I'm gonna add, because I'm making it with water, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. Coconut oil is very rich in caprylic acid, lauric acid, which are antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral. It's a very, very good antimicrobial. So coconut oil is really, really good source also of MCT fatty acids, which are using your body just as a fuel, doesn't get stored in your adipose tissue. I'm gonna add just a little pinch of sweetener because I like my smoothie sweet, and I'm using pure 100% monk fruit. If you use stevia or monk fruit, which have 0 glycemic index, are not spiking your insulin levels, be sure that you buy them organic, and the only ingredient that you want to see in there is stevia or monk fruit. You don't want any sugar alcohols, which sugar alcohols are causing more overgrowth in your gut. We don't digest sugar alcohols, are gonna cause more overgrowth. Are you from Cuba? No, I'm from Spain. Yes, stevia is great for killing parasites. Yes, but it has to be pure. If pure, that's important. And then you can make your chocolate smoothie, vanilla smoothie. I recommend, as I said, just buy pure and sweetened, not natural flavors or any other flavors, so you prevent other contaminants. And then you can add your raw cacao powder if you like it chocolate. You can add vanilla extract if you like it vanilla flavor. Yeah, you're from Cuba. Yes, it can be a little bit similar to that. So I'm gonna add in this case 1/3 of a cup of berries that I had, like frozen berries. So I have my healthy carbohydrate and I have my healthy fat. And now I'm gonna add my healthy scoop of bone broth powder. This is very thin, it dilutes very well. Even if you wanna put it like in a bottle with a shake, you don't need a blender if you are putting it with cacao powder. So yeah, let's just make the smoothie. Let's make some noise. Noisy, Vitamix are very noisy. So yeah, what a beautiful way for me, the color, what a beautiful color for me to break my fast today. I still didn't eat, I did my workout, and now I have a nutrient dense, simple smoothie in here. Look at this color, beautiful. I love purple, it's my favorite color. So yeah, I just wanted to jump in to talk to you about the benefits of adding bone broth powder if you don't have histamine intolerance in your diet. Otherwise, you have histamine intolerance, you can find, as I said, the hydrolyzed beef protein. You can find it also in my bio as well. And yes, try to start incorporating, make your own, buying the bones, or if you don't like seeing bones and the smell that is causing in your house and you want something convenient, the powder is very good, and you have 15 to 20 grams of protein in there. And talking about the gut, which, as you know, I'm your IBS expert in here. Talking about the gut, this is a superfood to heal your gut lining. Well, everybody, thanks for joining. Definitely always put your questions in the comments or send them to me straight through message, and I will jump live in every week to answer any of your questions. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Cheers.